Okay, now Team South Africa has been braving the European cold this week to showcase why South Africa is a tourism destination like no other. SA Tourism has taken a number of businesses, big and small, to the annual ITB Berlin Tourism Conference to demonstrate how they can enrich the holiday experience in South Africa. Let's discuss how South Africa fared there. We're joined now by SA Tourism COO Nomasonto Ndlovu, who still finds herself in Europe on work and heading back home shortly. Ms. Ndlovu, good afternoon. Welcome to today. Thank you very much for your time. I'm told that the ITB Berlin Tourism Expo is a big one. I mean, the who's who of tourism from many countries are there. How did we fare this time around?
Good afternoon, Dan, and good afternoon to all the South Africans back at home. Yes, the ITB, if I can share with you, it is the biggest travel and tourism trade exhibition. This is a global show. So if you are serious about tourism, you were at the ITB. And this ITB is happening after 3 years of no ITB because of the pandemic. So it was a very important one for us. And South Africa, as always, we showed up, we put our best foot forward. We had 45 products with us. We had almost 10 SMMEs with us. And I think we actually fared very well then.
Okay, you think we fared very well. What is the story? What is the story that you are telling those prospective visitors, tourists?
Dan, as you would recall, South African tourism's mandate is actually to promote and market South Africa to attract international tourists as well as also encourage domestic tourists to travel around South Africa. So as part of the mandate, we were doing exactly that. But what was important, and our message this time around, was to give confidence to the world that South Africa is open for travel once again. Because the world is not sure after pandemic which destinations are ready, which products were affected. So it was very important for us to show the world what South Africa looks like after the pandemic. And this is at the back of our global campaign, which we ran immediately after the pandemic, which we called Live Again. So at the back of that, we are now here to show and tell what we mean by Live Again. What are the tourism experiences? What are the tourism products? And what can people do and look forward to in South Africa?
How do you respond to concerns, for example, around load shedding? That there will be electricity problems. If I visit South Africa, I might not have power. What about the situation of crime? How do you respond to that? I mean, recently, my managing editor, John Bailey, and my colleague, Gareth Edwards, we stayed overnight at the Karoo National Park. When we got there, they'd just been load shed. And the manager of the park, Sand Parks, he said, this is another thing that we can do without. So how do you as SA Tourism address such concerns?
That's important is that this challenge, we talk about it directly to the industry and the global trade that wants to come to South Africa. The critical thing is that what we've noted in South Africa is that our tourism industry, they've been very proactive in already putting in place some green energy alternatives that they've been implementing for the past few years. But what's also been nice is that the department has been rolling out the green incentive program, where they've been encouraging and incentivizing products to convert to green energy. So people could apply and already start to take advantage of that program. But it is something that we don't like, that we would rather do without. But as it is right now, in South Africa, as you know, it is about a board maker plan. And we always find that our industry, they're always quite creative and innovative around what to do during the load shedding. I mean, if you think about it, some people have made sure that their experiences, so if you look at game drives, they make sure that align that with the load shedding, so that you are out enjoying your experiences whilst they're being load shedded. It is something that it is a challenge, alongside the issues of safety and security, as you have mentioned. We are very much aware of that. We are being asked about those things, but we're very encouraged that during this trip, we were accompanied by the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Mr. Fisher Mahlalela, and he actually was quite strategic in explaining what government is doing around issues of safety and security, how proactive as a department we're working with the Department of Police and the Police Commissioner to make sure that there are measures being put in place. As well as he also went all out to explain what government is doing around the issues of trying to resolve the issues of electricity. But as it is right now, it is a challenge and it's something we're working around. And for safety and security, what we do know for sure and what we do talk about is the importance of everybody's safety, whether you're a tourist or whether you're a South African. Very, very important. So we would like these challenges being resolved, in the near future. But what I can also say to you, Dan, is that I'm now in Amsterdam, and I got here and I was surprised that there was no water in the hotel. And it got me thinking that, sometimes we beat ourselves up and these things are actually sometimes happening everywhere. Yes. I had a couple of people saying to me in Germany, they lost their phones, they lost this and that. So it is something that as a global tourism trade, we and travel industry, we need to make sure that these things can be resolved.
Mr. Ndlovu, I need to cut you there. We're running a bit late now, short of less than a minute to go to the top of the hour headlines. Thank you very much. Safe journey back home. Thanks for sharing with us what SA Tourism was busy doing in Germany in that expo.